Hey there, Rockstar. So today we have a wrist workout. We are going to do some hand exercises and a little bit of mobility stretches for some stronger and more flexible wrists. First off, we are going to do some finger pulls. So you're going to give each finger a gentle squeeze with the opposite hand, and you're going to very gently pull that finger away from the hand and away from the wrist. Give it a little jiggle and see what it feels like to create that sense of spaciousness between your fingers, your hand, your wrists. Think about this every single day without thinking about it. We are lifting and gripping and twisting and texting and typing away at the keyboards, and our wrists are the silent superheroes that make all of those day-to-day activities happen. So I promise you, your hands and your wrists are going to thank you for giving them a little bit of love today. Awesome. Next up, we are going to do a little bit of wrist self-traction. So you're going to find that funky little pea-shaped knobby protrusion called the pisiform, and you're going to wrap your thumb and your middle finger between your hand and your forearm. And you're going to squeeze, and very, very gently, you are going to pull the hand away from the forearm. Very, very gently. Also moving the fingers. You can move the hand by rotating it, flexing, extending, and feel what it feels like to pull that hand away gently from the forearm and move that hand around, creating a little bit of space between all the little bones within the wrist. Also creating a little bit of blood flow and pumping a little bit of synovial fluid into that area. And if you've been doing the same motion all day, maybe in front of a keyboard, it's going to be nice to shift it up a little bit. Next up, we have wrist circles, and we are going to do these in a few different arm positions. We're going to start off with our arms straight out in front. So interlace those fingers and take those circles clockwise and then counterclockwise. And then you're also going to want to switch up the interlace. So whichever finger or thumb is on top, switch it up partway through and do 2, 3, 4, 5 circles in one direction, and then the other, switching up the thumb position and switching up the arm positions like I have here. And just notice your awareness and notice the difference in your ability to feel coordinated, even changing up those arm positions. This one right here with my arms behind my back tends to be a little more challenging for me. I feel way awkward and way more uncoordinated when I'm trying to do these circles behind my back. So I like to look at it as it's a less dominant position, and it's a way to challenge my brain a little bit and keep that dopamine firing. So yeah, let's try it above the head. This one's always an awkward one as well, but it's fun to try new things. So, all right, we're going to switch up the exercise here and think about painting a fence. Very, very gently press on where the fingers meet the palm on the top and bottom of that hand as you're sweeping the arm up and down very, very gently. And you can go ahead and switch it up. You can alternate them or do a few on one arm and then a few on the other, whatever feels good to you. But we're keeping that elbow straight, and the movement is just coming from the fingers and the hands and the wrists. So painting the fence, Karate Kid style. And just be really gentle here as you're pulling the hands back, and just notice that stretch and feeling some of that tension just releasing as you are moving your body through these positions. And just notice if it feels good or if it feels like, I could do a little bit more of this. Okay, let's shake that off, and we're going to do a very similar movement, but we're going to put our palms facing in towards our body and our thumbs are facing up towards the sky. And now we're going to do that same resistance as we are sweeping the hand. Think of slicing a blade through the air, up and down. And we're sweeping the hand up, we are pressing on the index finger side, and as we're sweeping the hand down, we're giving a little bit of resistance on the pinky side of the hand. So we're giving a little bit of a stretch to a slightly different part of the hand. So let's say the sides of the wrists as opposed to the top and bottom parts of the wrist. And notice how this feels. All right, it's not a position that we're probably used to putting our hand in, so be gentle with yourself. You're doing great. And just be aware of any tension points as you're doing this movement. You're doing fantastic. Great job. Let's shake that out, and now we're going to switch it up. We're going to glue those elbows into the side ribs, and we are going to pronate and supinate those hands, those wrists, by you're basically turning the thumbs in, down towards the ground, and then out and up towards the sky. And we're just like the wrist circles, we're going to take this exercise into a few different arm positions. So notice I've got my arms in front, and then I'm bringing them up towards my neck, and then opening them out towards the side. So play around with the position. You can bring the arms out like a T if you'd like, whatever feels good to you. You're going to start to feel those forearms light up. But we are getting our arms, our forearms, our wrists, our hands, our fingers stronger. So it's all part of the game, all part of the ride. You're doing fantastic. Breathe, feel, and become aware of your amazing, awesome body. Time to switch it up again, and we are going to get into a gorilla position with our arms here. So really important is try to do your best to keep that elbow straight. It's going to want to bend a little bit, especially if you're really tight through the wrists, the hands, the arms, but do your best to try to straighten out that elbow to the best of your ability. And then all you're going to do is place the top of the hands on the earth and squeeze the hands into fists. And we're going to rotate those arms into different positions. You're going to notice some positions are a lot harder to keep those elbows straight and create a full squeeze, a full fist with the hands. It is a practice. It takes a little bit. I know some positions for me still feel a little bit tight, and that's why we do it, right? We show up to practice. But I promise you, your wrists, your hands, your arms, your body in general, your whole beingness will thank you for taking the time to give a little bit of space to your body. You're doing fantastic. All right, we're gonna switch it up again. Similar position, but now we're gonna place the palms flat on the earth, and we're gonna stretch out those forearms. Now, this is not a passive stretch. I want you to think of all 5 fingers. You're going to press the palms in, and it's almost like you're doing little push-ups with the fingers. So push the pinky finger in, push the ring finger in, middle finger down, then the index finger, and then the thumb, and then rotate back. And every single one of those fingers are going to feel slightly different. You're stretching out the flexors of the hand, and I promise you, you are going to feel it. But we want to create a little bit more awareness, right? And the way we create more awareness is to break things down and do a little bit more of the fine details. So rather than just stretching out the forearms, what does it feel like to put a little more pressure into each finger, and maybe even each different part of the finger? So experiment with that, explore. We are now entering the home stretch of our movement practice, and we are going to crown this baby off with some kneeling fingertip push-ups. So we don't want to be flat on the fingers in any way. We want to be right on the very ends of our fingers. So think of a little teepee or a little spider standing on their toes and creating as much space from the ground towards the top of the wrist as possible. And feel what it feels like to move those fingers or the arms into different body positions. So whatever feels interesting, just explore what it feels like to put a little bit of pressure just on your fingertips. Feel the strength of your hands, feel the strength of your wrists, and you can play around with how much pressure you put into those hands, but be gentle with yourself. You know, we've put a lot of, unknowingly, a lot of physical demand on our hands and our wrists, our fingers each day, and we tend to take them for granted. So a little bit of strength and mobility does them good. And you can celebrate by doing some fingertip push-ups. And congratulations, cyber high five to you for getting through another reboot. You did awesome, and I will catch you on the next one.